Well, hello there. It's you, love. Justifiably outraged, love. Car is full because I'm moving. Some idiot I was talking to recently, I mean, he's truly an imbecile, said that he thought since I was starting to make videos in my car, then I must be homeless. Well, no, I'm actually not. And that's classic assumption. You make an observation, you have absolutely no foundation for an assumption other than a very specific, shallow observation. And the whole situation is so much more complex and meaningful than that. Then, people can get really stupid making assumptions based on a single observation. I'm actually not homeless. And I'm making, videos in my vehicle because that's where I happen to be when I get inspired to make them. So I just pull over and I make myself a video with you. Um, Incidentally, that guy also said that the man who um, murdered 11 people recently in Monterey Park and injured, I think, at least 9 others was not a domestic violence perpetrator. Yes, he was. His wife said he was very quick to anger and would criticize her very harshly for so much as missing a dance step. He was a man of emotional violence, and he was abusive, and he was stalking her. The imbecile, big, uh, horrifyingly ugly in the soul guy in San Diego works on Palm Avenue. Maybe he'll know who I mean. Um, Said that the guy had divorced her. Therefore, he wasn't a domestic violence perpetrator because DV guys don't divorce wives. They want to control them, keep them, and beat them, and so forth. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's called narcissistic dismissal. When the guy named Tran no longer had his Asian trophy wife, no, when maybe he didn't think she was this enough or that enough anymore, she didn't serve his needs, she wasn't obedient enough, perhaps she wasn't perfect enough because these people are sick and they are obsessive and desire perfection in people, and therefore they're always going to be disappointed because nobody's perfect. Very literally, no one is perfect. Um, they dismiss uh, the victim. They throw away people that they are supposed to love because that person has proved disappointing and lacking in perfection that they seek. So, that's just sort of everybody who's been into a psychology class room knows that. Everybody who's done any online research knows that. But the imbecile doesn't know that. And when I pointed these things out, he said, "Oh, you've got an answer for everything." No, I don't. I don't know how to not talk to imbeciles all the time because I'm getting really tired of stupid people. But hey, I'm on Earth, so good luck with that. Um, Now, what I'm talking about today primarily is that I'm about to go very public with some information. I have already given it to some federal agencies. While doing so, I was very, very flattered and honored to be talking to someone from Homeland Security who said, "We know that you are working toward having a position with the FBI, which is long overdue. They initially tried to hire me in 2019 and 2020. The DEA tried to hire me in 2020. NASA tried to hire me in the 1970s and pay my way through medical school and cross train me as a space shuttle pilot. I said no to that because it was a military position and they wanted me to experiment on animals, which I would not do, and develop weapons of war, neither of which was in my, professional plan. So I'm an artist and a writer, and I've been a business manager and I've been a business owner and fulfill that dream. I was trying to start a nonprofit called the Planet Peace Project, but I no longer believe peace is possible. So it's kind of hard. Only those who believe, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, only those who believe in the possibility of an enlightened and egalitarian future are equipped to help create it. So if I myself am no longer believing in the possibility of an enlightened and egalitarian future that could be created by a species as corrupt and foul and lazy and greedy and stupid and lust filled as human beings, then I'm not even equipped to help create it anymore. So heck with that. It was just an idea. It was just a dream some of us had, like Joni Mitchell would say. It was just a dream some of us had. Um, so this thing about what I'm reporting, Homeland Security guy said, "We hope you'll consider working with us because we would use your unique skill set." I swear to God, I was just so honored and amazed and blessed, and I may go for it. If I don't get uh, in with the FBI really soon, I'll go with Homeland. Um, and he said, "We hope you'll consider working with us because we could use your unique skill set." And there's a reason federal agencies say that I have a unique skill set. The first time I heard that was when I was talking to the National Security Agency back in 2010. And they offered me a job in 2020 as well to ferret out the jerks who sold out the government in the solar wind scandal. Yeah, I'm not what I seem. I look like an old little lady in a wheelchair. And I'm going to prove I'm not so small after all. Just like Rosa Parks did one day when she lifted her chin and she squared her shoulders and she steadied her voice and she said to a man who almost certainly could have killed her and gotten away with it, "No, I will not be moved." And on that day, when her courage and her dignity changed the world, Rosa Parks, one of the greatest heroes of my childhood, proved she wasn't so small after all. What I've been reporting, and the reason I'm interacting with the FBI and the local police, Karen Bass's office, and the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, newly led by one proud and courageous soul named Robert Luna, is I've talked to people within the last 3 months up in the San Gabriel Valley who say they do things like lure people into their house using online ads and say they're going to help people. The people don't have to pay rent. And they say they do it with both men and women. I think there's been 3 women in a row, and they're sexual predators. They're committing DFSA. And then they're also filing completely fake um, police reports. And the police know that. One of them has been going to the sheriff's department and screaming at the top of his lungs that I think they're about to haul him off in handcuffs and stick him in a mental ward where he belongs. He's the guy that I wrote the sexual pareidolia thing about. I did a video on sexual pareidolia recently because you know, he sees. Oh, anyway, just it's. I'm a psychologist, and the guy is delusional. The guy is on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of a mental illness. That guy's got to be an 11. He's over the top crazy. And he is a coward and he's a liar. He talked about having murdered someone with something called cantharides, but he didn't do it on purpose. He was only trying to get into her pants. And apparently, he got into her pants and she died 7 days after he gave her an industrial floor wax stripper that kills your kidneys. And she died of kidney failure. So, oh yeah, she also had cancer and COVID. So I think, having 10 times what he called a normal dose of a deadly toxin is probably not good for cancer and COVID. It probably like hazards the immune system when your kidneys die. So therefore you do. That's what's called immunocompromised. Yeah, buddy. And then he also talked about being involved in the snuff porn and crush film industry. And the crush was about babies, human babies. But he said that they were white, so it didn't matter. I think there are women and men in the FBI who have white babies, and those babies matter to them. And I think that somebody who thinks that white babies don't matter, so let's crush them in porn videos, is probably going to go to jail for the rest of his life and should. He talked in horrifying detail to me. And, like I'm a psychologist and I do counseling, but I didn't, ask to know this. And I was just really horrified. And he started bragging. He started bragging about murdering women uh, in snuff porn videos. And I want that man in jail. I want him in jail now. And I want him held without bail while the rest of us figure out how to put him away for life. He is not going to continue to hurt those who know who he really is. He's immoral filth. He is truly the lowest form of life I ever encountered. And I promise you, on my honor, I thought I'd seen the lowest. I thought I'd already encountered the lowest form of life. But this guy, no, he is beyond worthless. And he is slime. And I'm outraged. I am outraged that I've been talking to any kind of law enforcement agency for weeks about this, and he's not in leg irons at a black site, and they're making him tell them everything he knows. So that's what I got for you today. His cohorts are cocaine dealers, fentanyl dealers, people who have and use GHB, gamma hydroxybutyrate. Um, his cohorts apparently are people in San Diego. His cohorts are people who abuse animals and people who are running slaves internationally. He is in league with one guy. He may not even know the guy personally, but he's part of the same mafioso con job um, thing. It's a international cabal that runs from San Diego through LA to Bakersfield, and they're running drugs and slaves up the I-5 pipeline, Interstate 5. Well, he's, one of these guys that this guy's associated with was arrested in Paris years ago for human trafficking and was arrested on U.S. soil in Upland, I think it was, or Sunland, for having more than 200 assault weapons in his house. And he, we're talking bazookas and machine guns and stuff. And he was selling them to people who basically shoot strangers in parking lots because after all he cared about was some profit. He doesn't care about people. This guy, the Cantharides man, let's call him Cantharides man, Mexican fly. Um, it's called Spanish fly. When he, God, I have so much to say. I may never stop. When actually, I'm gonna save that for the news article. I'm gonna put out a press release, and I called the sheriff's office today, incidentally, and I told them what I was gonna do. I said, "Look, you people are dragging your feet. You know he's a rapist. You know he's drugging people. He's bringing people into his house and drugging them to sexually assault them. He set one woman on fire. He murdered another one. It's like a family affair. Ooh. Dude, this seems to be okay. Sometimes these things blink in and out. Um, I'm going to go ahead and put out a press release because I haven't had the satisfaction of seeing this guy in handcuffs yet, and I need the satisfaction. I need the closure of seeing this animal abusing, rapist, murdering, child harming slime bag in jail. But I'm going to get the satisfaction of seeing that man in jail. Oh, man is not the right word. Coward in jail. I don't use the word man to describe someone like that because I know men and they would never do any of that at all, ever. Thinks that I'm going to go away quietly and let them know I don't know what. I'm going to make absolutely certain that man spends the rest of his days in jail. And I hope somebody there loves women enough to make him their girlfriend. Uh, Once again, I used to want to be called the Planet Peace Woman. Now, everybody's welcome to just call me justifiably outraged. Love.